So it's amazing that the sort of work I do put into some of these posts.
So like I said, you should maybe sit down with you and go over how to set up OBS and everything. It'd be a lot easier if you converted a lot of that into video. It really would on
Yeah,
you.
no, again, accessibility. These are URL references, so as you see, my post usually consists of a heading, short description, either a link or usually a video, which is a third-party video, and then references underneath that.
Yeah.
And of course, you cannot put references on videos because people expect to click on those links.
Yeah.
And you can't do that on a video.
You put the links down in the description like you keep yelling at
Yeah,
me
yeah,
about.
which I do. But a lot of content creators do not actually, even when they say they will provide references, they hardly ever do.
Yeah, I know. You yell at me about that all the time.
Yeah.
It's like,
Therefore,
I know.
hence why I spend 3 hours a day. I reviewed the video, actually more than 3 hours, 3.5 hours. So I reviewed the video twice, 2.5 times, and then I'm doing finding suitable references for them for it.
I'm cool with doing it, but there's just one issue that I have about the whole situation, and it comes back to, like, like what we were talking about with freaking like Mr. Robot and even Mike and them. You know what I mean? They get on and they freaking bitch and they bitch and they bitch,
Mm.
but when it comes to freaking actually coming onto the show, you know what I mean? They don't show up. You know what I mean? So freaking, and
And he's shy.
it
Yeah.
it gets onto your nerves. You know what I mean? It's like I'm supposed to listen to you, and you don't even show up after I freaking put in the effort to even give a shit about what you're saying. You know what I
Mm,
mean?
mm, mm.
It's like, especially when I know that the majority of the time, freaking people freaking go according to SEO and then what they do on the freaking description. Like back when I was first learning it, they told me you need to have a good headline. You need to make sure that the same words in the headline match the description, and then that
Well,
goes
up to a point.
right.
In the case of the mines, I never used the title tag, the title option on there. Just create the title within the description.
But my whole
But
point,
yeah,
they don't.
if you look at my posts, all the keywords are all the necessary keywords are there.
But
Tags are correct.
but the thing of it is what I found out is that people don't use them. I mean, at all. Like it's just bare. It's
Yeah, they may not use them, but presumably that's added to as part of the content, or it is, in my case, added as part of the keywords, and therefore searchable.
it's just yeah. There we go. I just checked the audio. It sounds good on
In
all of them. I had to bait you in, I guess, to get you to talk so that I could see if the audio was good.
Also, I've been busy transcoding video today because I've got a couple of film stuff I want to add, or I've added, and the John Hurt and Richard Burton version of 1984 to my collection, which I published. But I've got a few others I want to add.
I think
But some of them I've got a few adverts at the start, so I just want to remove them.
we fired freaking Mine's Gaming and Within the Vacuum up on that AI thing, because on their channel, Within the Vacuum finally posted up some stuff that on infinite, what do they call that?
Infinity,
Infinite
infinite.
Imaginarium.
Yeah, yeah. I saw your content. I didn't really look at it because I was just reminding myself while I was
But you better,
yeah, just reminding myself what MG
but
put.
you might not want to watch my content.
Okay,
I'll just give you a
okay,
warning ahead of time on that one. People do watch it, but you probably don't want to watch it. It's got you
okay.
in it. Don't get me wrong, but it's not in a bad way. You know, well, not too bad of a way.
Should I
It's
be worried?
everybody. Well, it involves anal probing, AI,
Okay,
and Arnold
okay,
Schwarzenegger singing "I Want to Dance with Somebody."
okay, yeah.
And he looks like Vanessa.
Okay.
Isn't Vanessa Williams the one that sung that song?
I think so. I was just trying to think. And I know I want to dance with someone. I
Yeah.
don't need, yeah. 1984, 85.
Hmm. It's an
I would
IA.
say.
I've got an IA where he's got Vanessa Williams' curly hair,
Okay.
and it's his face. It's kind of like the
Okay.
it's kind of like the one before with frickin' Arnold Schwarzenegger and what's
Julie Garland.
yeah, Judy Garland on Wizard of
Yeah,
Oz.
Julie Garland.
But
Mm,
this time he's singing frickin' "I Want to Dance with Somebody."
Okay.
I'll tell you, it's something else. That stuff is. I'm glad it's over because it kind of puts, or it's almost over. I've got maybe one or two more episodes I need to make of it because that shit's just
Mm.
insane. That stuff we did with Dave Kelso and Mark.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Oh,
did
God, I
my I did
remember. Yeah, I sort of remember.
did my own take on it. It kind of gets out there. Pretty
Mm.
pretty crazy. I decided I was going to incorporate a lot of the AI that's going on Rumble and YouTube especially. Like they would take all these like old classic sounds like back in the 50s.
Mm.
They make like really fucked up perverted songs. I
That's what people call entertainment, I suppose.
yeah.
Yeah.
I took the video off because I don't wanna frickin' steal anybody's frickin' shit when it comes to video, but I used the music for it.
Uh,
You know.
Remember, YouTube is really, really cautious about music content.
Yeah, I know. Well, this is AI stuff too, though. So
Well,
it,
they're still extremely,
I,
yeah.
I don't really consider it real though. You know what I mean? Because like, I mean, even the copyrights can't frickin' track it. It's really fucked up. Like, cause
Uh,
like it's
uh,
well, you know how I was talking the other day about VCRs. This is what it kind
yeah.
of reminds me of. Like, you know what I mean? There's no way of frickin' really saying if it's theirs or not. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing that frickin' YouTube has that can frickin' actually say, look, you're using somebody else's content.
They can say you
No,
using some of theirs as too.
no, it's
Nowadays.
it's it's all over the internet. I'm dead serious. It's all over the internet, everywhere
Uh,
you go, or even on YouTube. The more I frickin' check that shit out, the more it pops up. Like,
but YouTube's thing about doing purges once in a while.
yeah,
Uh,
maybe they're waiting for everybody to put as much stuff on there as they can, and they're freaking gonna just come through and wipe them out.
Mm, that has happened in the past.
Yeah,
Several times, actually.
that's why I just put all that stuff on Rumble and Odyssey. I don't mess with YouTube with it.
Actually, it wasn't Richard Burton's in 1984. It was the BBC's 1986 version of Huxley's Brave New World.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Not a great video, but I've never been able to find a perfect version of that version.
Oh, that reminds me. You were talking about Monty Python.
Yeah.
How you used to like watching it?
Yeah.
They have Monty Python's what was it? Circus.
Flying Circus, yeah.
Flying Circus on Roku. No, not
Okay.
on. It's not on Roku. It's Classic TV, which you can get on Roku if you have Roku.
I think Vimeo I've seen a few episodes on Vimeo as well.
That's probably where this Classic TV, because it's not a major freaking like you or internet thing. You know what I mean? I went on there. The first thing that got me on it was they were showing the original V's, and I went to watch it, and then the next thing you know, I freaking noticed that they had there was something else that was really cool they had on there. But then eventually I found out that Monty Python was on there just recently. So, and I remember we were talking about it. So I watched one episode, and I had to just watch one episode. You can't watch too much Monty Python. Like one freaking episode at a time is about as much as you can take. That stuff is insane, dude. Especially when you know what the hell they're talking about, because the average person will think it's funny, you know what I mean? But it is funny.
I've got a question if the average, let's say, American would even get it.
Well, we get it, but we don't get like the Monty Python on BBC Monty Python. You know what I mean? Like they still don't allow us to have your channels.
Yes, they do, but there's a lot of it sold. It's a lot of it sold through BBC Studios, which is a big money laundering scheme. Really, it's a big con.
BBC
and then it appears, BBC America, BBC Studios. There are about 15 different companies under the BBC name. And it gets sold to Netflix and Amazon and stuff.
What I want to know is what. Oh, go ahead. Oh, there's Mark.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, Mark.
Hey, Mark, what's up?
Not bad.
Too much. Kids are over right now. Got them this weekend, so don't know how long it'll be quiet behind me. If it's not too quiet, then they can mute out and just kind of listen here and there.
Okay. Well, this is pretty much a chilled out time, so if you got noise going on behind you, don't worry about it. We pretty much hang out for this time. Well, you've been on here before. You know how we do things.
Yeah, here and there.
So
serious episode 10.
This is probably our most laid back one that we've got. Especially, I forgot to tell you too, Karma. I added her on here. She was wanting to know how to freaking get on here and stuff. So. Yeah,
I noticed a Skype message you sent her the other day on one of the things I was in.
Freaking, she was on here, and I added her to the thing because she was wanting to know about it. Freaking, I think I think it'd be cool to have her come on and everything and hang out with us on here. I wouldn't want
Yeah,
her to
yeah.
go overboard like she
I don't
did
think I've
before.
met Karma.
Oh, Karma is cool as
She,
shit.
she's been quiet for 6 months, no?
Well, she kind of
Maybe?
flipped out. She kind of flipped out, you remember? Like, well,
Mm.
we were having that history thing, and she didn't like it when I told her that frickin' the Canaanites and didn't eat or sacrifice frickin' babies and shit, and
Yeah.
she
By the way, Mark, I enjoyed the show on Wednesday, wasn't it? Yeah, Wednesday. I thought it was fun.
you actually went on there.
Yeah, as soon as we finished our thing, I received a mess, or I received a call about 10 minutes before we finished, and then I finished with you and then joined in.
I ended up going on. I forgot what. I went straight to bed. That's what it was because I was freaking tired. Yeah.
I didn't get to bed until what, 9,
Yeah.
7, 8 o'clock that morning.
Yeah, Mark came on Wednesday with my crew, the last crew, and
Cool.
yeah, Jack Carey was on. Yeah, everything kind of worked out good at the end. It was really good, and then it went, I don't know. For that show, I'm like, oh my god, I need to rope them in real good here pretty soon. Or I'm gonna take in. I wanted to make it a 2-hour slot, but I'm thinking about dropping it to 1 hour. I really am.
Yeah, what is the format? What's the format at the moment? It's every break
It's
of
supposed to be a round table,
30 minutes?
all right? And we're supposed to talk about all the stuff that I talked about basically on the original show, all right? Without half the, without half of all this current event BS that D puts in. All right. And that, yeah, that's good because we're talking about now and in the future. The old show was now and where we were, So, but they're not keeping the format of the show description. I'm about ready to tell them both Dee and Nancy, look, if you're not going to take and keep to the format, then you need to name it something else, and good luck, because
sort of pre-show notes, like Jeffrey does.
yeah, and they before when I did the show, when I hosted that show originally, you might hear me talk maybe 10 minutes for the whole 2 hours because it used to be a 2-hour show. All right. Everybody else talked, and the only thing I did was facilitate, and that's what they need to be. And Nancy knows that. Dee knows that too. But they're, I don't know. They're doing something totally different. I don't know if it's what they got in their heads about it or not. It's from the time the show started. We rebooted the show. It's never been where I wanted it to be. But hey, they're the hosts. But they are the hosts.
Some form of project management to come into it.
Yeah. I don't want. I'm not going to host the show again. I'm done. I produce. That's what I do. All right. I'm not going to go in there and say you have to do this, and then everybody's going to be like, well, if that's the way you want it, then you just do it yourself. Well, no, that's not how this was going to be.
I can see the issue there. Hi.
Oh, Jans. How's everybody?
All right.
Pretty good here so far. You know,
Now since
it is
No, I'm pretty
it
good.
is
It's a bit stressful.
here
Yeah.
for me.
since we're all here, give me a moment. I'm gonna get some coffee, smoke a cigarette, come back, and then I'll start recording. You want to do an intro since you're actually here, Tan?
Oh, we're doing intro now? Oh, do we get your coffee? Come back. We can do the intro for your recording.
Yeah, have a coffee first.
I mean, yeah, that way we can do it. It's been a while since we've actually done an intro for this.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta refresh our memory on what episode we're on right now.
Give that up.
And
dude.
also
Give
while
that
we're
up.
talking about intros, outros as well. I noticed that Bob Dub mentioned that, but the outro on what's it, Tuesday's episode, which was questionable.
What did she say?
She said something like it just ended extremely.
Oh, it ended abruptly. Yeah, we didn't have an outro. Well, we just said hi. We just said bye, and then we left.
Oh, well.
What more she
Oh,
wants?
yeah, tech talk, yeah. Well, you know.
Yeah.
It was like we had to, dude, because it was like freaking we were getting hot and heavy and that shit. You heard freaking how it affected mine's gaming and shit, dude. All of a sudden, like they're giving us that was probably the best tech talk we've done.
Well,
It was one of the most.
Well, he should
demanding
join
ones.
us the next time. then.
Yeah, that's the way I feel. You know.
This is all down in his territory. I think he might be playing with some AI stuff himself.
He is. That's
Okay.
the thing. He got fired up.
Go get your coffee, Roger. We want to save this for the recording.
I just got fired up, so
Good stuff.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, something to think about. Just intros and outros.
Outro, right? We used to do it. We used to do it in Roundtable. We had intro and outros.
Well, on the Wednesday stream, we still do that for the notes along channels and stuff.
Yeah, but for Tech Talk on the Tuesday show, it's kind of different because we don't have an agenda on what we plan to talk about really. So it's you usually with the outro we kind of say goodbye and promise next week we're gonna do this, and this, but we don't have that kind of thing for Tech Talk.
Yeah. So yeah, just sort of, I don't know, just mention our own channels or something.
Yeah, it was. At
Something
least
to round it off with.
tune in next week for more surprising topics. Think something like that.
Something like
Yeah.
that. This time, this channel, yeah.
Yeah. How's the weather in your neck of the wood, Mark?
I don't know. I haven't been
Very
out
hot
all
here.
day.
Where are you, Mark? The other Mark.
I am in Central Texas. It's very hot.
Yeah. Must be nice and warm over there.
And
Warm
about 2 weeks ago, we had big tornadoes come through. Well, 2 tornadoes come through. And that's how I got my power knocked out. And I did a move during all that time. I'm in the new zone now. So
What about the tornadoes? Yeah.
yeah.
Did it hit near home or?
Yeah, did damage to both the old house and the new, and we're still kind of working on things. Finally got most of the yard cleaned and cleared out. That's what my son and the girls been working on today.
Okay. Well, up here in Toronto, it's been warm, sunny in the last couple of days, but today started raining.
I don't know where it's been feeling fairly warm just over the last 2-3 days.
Yeah, same here. Or what about today? Did it rain in your area as well?
Everybody in this group's on mines, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you guys know my host censorship sucks.
Yeah, I've
I follow censorship
spoken to him for a long
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
but yeah.
He's my he's one of my hosts. He has probably he has most of the time slots that I have
Yeah.
for the radio side. Sick of the Lies. Have you heard of him?
I think I follow him too.
I've done a few.
Uh,
I've done a few streams with.
V.
Yeah, I've done a few streams with
1971.
done a few streams with censorship. Back in 2018, 2019, could be 2020.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I've not really heard from him that much since.
Yeah, and then my good buddy Josh Hu, and
Oh,
yeah.
that's true, yeah.
yeah, Josh Hu, as well as we got it's in the Josh isn't always in the group, and neither is Rizzo so much anymore. Yo, Rizzo. Rizzo's one of our Canadian guys, so he's not so much with us because he always fears that his government's going to come after him.
Is that why he's on Minds?
Yeah, and he's on Minds. Yes, he's on Minds. And he streams to Rumble, Kick, and where's the other place? Not Telegram, but Twitch sometimes. But mostly he's on Rumble and Kick. And Odyssey. Odyssey is another big place. Yeah. I can't get anything to go on Odyssey very much. It's really hit or miss if anybody comes in there and listens to me through Odyssey.
Yeah.
But I like Odyssey. The thing I like about Odyssey is the recording. I always get a really good recording through them.
The playback framework's a bit it's a mess. Sometimes it will play straight away, and sometimes it's got a really poor caching mechanism. I think that's what it looks like. I know.
Sorry about that. My daughter just stepped in and asked some questions. What did I miss?
Right.
I feel like Biden. Hey man, what did I miss?
Yeah, no, it's the same.
I missed something?
I think Odyssey. Yeah, I just think that Odyssey's got a really poor sort of playback caching framework.
Poor playback
so much to
caching?
playback of it. Yeah.
Mine's got poor playback caching.
Yeah. And I think they actually use the same player. I think they use there's an open source player that looks like exactly the same. I can't remember the name of it now. But I think they use exactly the same playing framework.
Yeah, I can check to see what they use.
There's a GitLab repository for it, I say. I can't remember what it's called. More Minds.
Yeah.
Mine's use their own.
I like mine.
No, they use an open source one. They use
it's not really good for me though. You know, it's really hard for me to get out to an audience on mine. All right.
Yeah.
Where if I was on Twitter or Facebook or one of the other garbage platforms, I can get out there. If I'm not being, shadow banned, or just having everybody go away from my kind of topics because of the algorithm BS.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Everything has its ups and downs.
This is what I was talking to Roger about some time ago. With Minds, with any platform really, you should market yourself to such an extent. So in my case, a lot of my posts, my own channel posts, are always duplicated to a group, the Minds User group, because there's, and occasionally I might also duplicate those posts to other groups. They're clickable.
Yeah.
It's just that sort of
It would be useful if they have a better ads.
search engine. Yeah, definitely.
No. Yeah. This is what John and all the others tell me to do. Boost your stuff. Well, we all know mine's boost don't fucking work. Sorry. You know,
They've got
it
better.
doesn't work.
They have got better since the new system. I
Yeah.
will say that.
Now,
Yeah.
I was,
Boost your content. What? You know, waste my what little that I get on tokens to boost for still something that no one will see.
nobody
No, I'm
wants to
sorry,
see
I'm
it.
not going to do that. You know.
That's the bad
I've
part.
got the
Nobody even
attitude-
wants to
I've
see
got-
it.
I've got the attitude of not bothering to cats chase after people these days. If people want to see my content, they can. If they don't, big deal. That's my attitude.
Did you just say you
personally.
do
But I
want to
don't
see
think
it?
But you need to get an audience, right? And that's the only way to do that
Yeah.
is,
No.
or
S3.
enlarge your audience.
No, look at S3, okay?
And
In 8 months, do you realize, Dan, how much of an audience we've gotten?
no idea.
You should pay more attention, because, dude, people are freaking actually, just us three, freaking, we've freaking done a shitload, okay? It's like Jaffe freaking keeps harassing me about you coming on to freaking his show, dude. He wants you on his show.
Or you want to make fun of my Canadian accent?
He's Canadian, too.
Also, I think I'm in a bit of a odd position because a lot of the users recognise me as being the sort of community help and support, filling those spaces that the guests have. So yeah, I may have received a lot of users subscribers because they recognise me as the sort of community help and
You're
support.
the Chippendale guy.
I'm not going to strip. I'm not going to strip.
After
That would have been fun to watch.
put a little bow tie on.
I pay Mine's token to watch that.
That's horrible.
Well, get me a lifetime pro membership, and I might consider it.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, lifetime pro membership.
Now, do they have polls on here?
You can just deploy your own Mine's instance. That's the pro membership right there.
Now, can you add polls and stuff like that on here? Create a
Not on
poll.
Skype.
You can
Not on
create a poll.
Skype, I don't think.
Yes, you can.
On Skype?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your poll?
What's you and polls?
Would you
Roger.
take it up the butt?
Oh,
Oh
please.
no,
Of course,
For-
no,
I'm not answering this poll. I already did it.
No,
So.
family
A million.
friendly, please.
Mark W is the only one who should answer.
No, I know a few polls, but they're all from Warsaw.
Yeah.
Different kind of polls.
For $1 million.
And relatives. How about that? You know, and the relatives.
Actually, funny enough, in this part of the world, in the UK, there's still quite a large Polish community. Those that came in during the 90s and 2000s.
Okay,
They stayed.
we will end this poll at midnight.
Where are you pulling? On mine?
Half an hour ago.
Or
Right here.
on Skype?
Yes.
Oh,
Would you take it? Take it up the butt.
You messed it up.
Take what
Well,
A
off the
million watts. Take what
Well,
for a million watts,
Yeah.
man?
Well, see, that's the thing. That's as big as the question will allow you to do it. So I'll say, would you take up the butt for $1 million? Yeah. See, that's not gonna work. We gotta.
That's not gonna work. Well, whose butt am I taking up? I can whoop somebody's butt for a million bucks.
That's just horrible. See, Jitsi.
Oh,
Jitsi's got it beat. So that's one downfall there. But it does let you keep it for longer than the stream, though. That is cool.
actually, funny enough, Nextcloud has just released a polling mechanism called Nextcloud Talk. So I haven't played around with it yet. I still got a lot of stuff on there I need to deal with anyway.
Are you still trying to sort out stuff with your next cloud talk?
I haven't actually, to be fair, I haven't had time to touch it since when we haven't. This is since Tuesday. Yeah,
He actually
Hasn't had
needs to
time.
take a break
Uh-huh.
from it. The last time he was doing it, he turned into a psychopath. Like, he got all freaky and shit, and like, oh, hell, dude. Finally, we ended up going to.
I haven't even had time today to look at that keyboard that started on me yesterday. The mechanical one I was telling you about. I forgot. It's over there. Just I know
the keyboard that oh, wait a minute. I just the keyboard that I told you about yesterday is not the keyboard that I'm using right now.
What are you correct about the modern one? Yeah, okay, that's yeah.
This is the
Okay.
this is the mechanical keyboard.
Okay.
This is the Eagle Tech.
Okay. The other ones are also mechanical. The the whatever 488L thing.
Okay.
That's partially recognised.
I get a kick out of everybody when they have you take, or they have those little areas where they want you to take a picture of your quote unquote rig, show a picture of your computer. I feel so ashamed of myself because like I don't have fancy lights or nothing. You know what I mean?
Like I said to you the other day, I cannot stand that entire gaming RGB.
The neon light.
Yeah. What's the point? A computer's there not to be admired. It's a tool.
Well, you remember the WizKid, don't you?
It's good.
Back in the 80s? The WizKid.
The Miracle Whiz?
That's
Or which
American
Whiz?
WizKid in the 80s. You don't remember the WizKid?
I
That
thought
must
that
be
was
an
in the
American thing.
70s.
The 70s,
In
yeah.
the 80s?
It was in
That's the 70s.
70s.
That was a Disney movie, I think, and it had.
Oh.
Who did it have in it? Kurt Russell was it?
It was,
His
Right.
kid, wasn't he?
no, you're talking about Witch Mountain.
No. I'm talking about the computer with tennis shoes.
Yes. The WizKid was the kids that frickin' the kid was real smart and he had a frickin' computer set up in his bedroom and like he had all these shelves set up and it wasn't anything flashy. He had like a speaker with a frickin' voice that from the computer that would talk to. You know,
Is
things.
that you?
That was me. I burped. Sorry. That coffee. But it was cool, you know. I mean that was what I thought was cool. Like I would like.
No, I didn't mean the burp with
Okay,
you.
I was in that
The
situation
WizKid.
probably 10 years later,
WizKid.
No,
the 80s.
it was here. I probably find it on the internet.
I found it. This came out in 1989.
Yeah, it was cool. as
Okay.
hell.
Oh, in that case,
I
yeah, I was. That could well have been me. 89. I would have been 11, 12, maybe.
That's
Yeah.
when you
yeah,
should have
yeah.
been watching it.
Yeah.
Somebody
Yeah.
wasn't like keeping you up on on what was cool back then. Like
Cool back then.
Somehow I missed. Yeah,
that
I was
show.
would have been still in high school by then.
Roger, I'm never going to really give you all the information in order to get a hold of Big D, because you guys are, talk about the past too much a lot of times.
Oh man.
When we were
There's
young,
there's
yeah.
the whiskey.
Hey, I'm at the point where been there, done that. All right, let's move on.
Well, the Whiz Kid, dude. I mean, seriously, like that was like that's called classic stuff right there, man.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, it really is.
Was his computer a Commodore 64? Or,
Oh.
Yeah, dude.
Was a trash 80.
or a TRS 80?
Yeah, he had this little. He had
Trash
this.
80 or an Amiga.
He had this little robot, man, that would freaking
Actually,
walk
back
around in the
in
room
the
and
early
shit.
90s, I was a big Amiga fan.
Well,
If it wasn't for Amiga,
back in the 80s, the Amiga was the best computer in terms of audio, video and
Yeah.
audio, speech.
the audio that they couldn't feature Atari, and Atari had their own chipsets, didn't they?
No, the
Atari-
Amiga. Well, I had the Atari 128, but the Amiga, who my brother got secondhand from some old store. It has the speech synthesis capability that was like 10 years ahead of all the other computers.
Okay.
Technically, if it wasn't for the Amiga, we wouldn't have ARM-based phones now.
Yeah.
It was the Motorola 68000 chipsets that are the forerunners to modern-day ARM chipsets.
Okay, I found the BBC Canada headquarters chipping that my brother was constantly bugging us about. It was it was the BBC in Canada, their headquarters, and it's not mandatory, but
Okay. I suppose you.
Not mandatory chipping.
not mandatory chipping, but it is highly advisable.
Sure.
Possible, yeah.
And
I've heard that one before.
and Copilot refuses to even have a conversation about it, so you know it's bad.
Why do you keep mentioning Copilot, Roger? I'm confused.
See,
Copilot is the
It's a Skype user and Copilot's inbuilt, isn't it?
Oh, I see. Oh, that
Yeah.
Copilot. Okay.
And Copilot censors the shit out of everything. If it doesn't freaking match up politically correct, then it won't discuss it. Like you even ask anything about Stormy Daniels, dude, you're not getting anything.
Yeah, not even her porn.
Well, I can understand that, but like
Wait.
nothing.
Wait. Skype doesn't use Copilot, does it? It uses Bing.
Bing has Copilot. They actually
Yeah,
switched it around.
Bing is just the search engine mechanism, isn't it? Copilot's the actual so-called AI framework.
Now you can go into your chat and you can actually activate it if you want to.
Why would you want to do that?
Porn.
Okay.
Don't worry, you can't get porn with Copilot. Mark's right. Now, Bikini Kitchen, the best of Stormy, is the one that freaking I was remembering. Like, she tried she tried to get that Bikini Kitchen going, and it failed. So whenever freaking we were talking about that on, who was it? Naroki 5, I think, brought it up. And I was like, hold on, dude, I wonder. So I tried it on Copilot, and they will not even show any information. And she didn't even get naked on there. You know?
Wait, is it able to show you images? So I haven't checked out the. So on Skype, it used to be called Bing Chat, but apparently they rebranded it to Copilot.
Yeah.
So that's what it is now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, WizKids, so you guys got me distracted. I was wanting to start talking about porn. Okay, now let me see if I can find it. WizKids. There we go. And it's WHIZ Kids. That's what it is.
Oh, that's a different. So it's not the one I sent you in the picture in the chat.
No, that one was kind of. I knew something was wrong when I seen that because it's like that's not the WizKids I remember.
That's the WizKids WIZ kid.
The WizKids right here.
What you looking for?
WizKid. WizKid TV series 1983 to 1984.
Oh, it's not a movie. It's just a TV series.
Barbie.
Okay.
For that.
Like
Correct. Before they can't be.
Philip, who was it?
Actually,
Matthew.
that image does ring a bell.
See, and like right here, that dude, the first one, Matthew Libretoix. That's a Canadian name right there.
Oh, really?
French.
French Canadian.
Yeah.
Labiato.
Labiato.
The last one they said.
He was the oldest boy that played on the frickin'
House of the Fairies.
House in the Prairies.
Yep.
Okay.
Which would make sense because I always did think that frickin' what's his name, Ingalls, the guy that played the father. I always had a suspicion he was Canadian.
Who did Michael Landon?
Yeah, Michael
Even Ingalls
Landon.
do a lot of other stuff beforehand.
Yeah, but still, and I've actually, just to get things straight on this, I still that one dude, William Shatner. Okay.
Yeah, he's Canadian.
Okay.
Yep.
And he's also played in numerous English freaking movies too.
Actually, I was watching William Shatner right in his early days. We're talking about mid-50s. Did a load of shows where he was a doctor and done some interesting stuff. And he also did a very interesting screenplay where he was the defense judge at the trial of what was that American Union POW camp during the Civil War? Anderson. He was defending the.
And Shatner's played so many different parts.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, from Booker T. Washington, Captain Kirk, he's been on numerous black and white, Twilight Zone, and what was the other one that Rod Serling had?
No,
No, X-Minus. No, I'm thinking of the radio things. X-Minus one and stuff.
Yeah, he was on Outer Limits too, as well as what was the other one? Through Door. I can't remember.
It had the paintings. I know which one you're talking about. And that was actually a pretty good show. I thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, what was it?
Twilight Zone, I think, because a lot of those were.
I'm a big fan of the sort of 1950s, 1940s, 1950s Americana sort of radio versions of these things. So things like X-1 and I can't think of the other ones, but
I think what really got him, what got Shatner started was Desilu Productions. All right? Because, I mean, Desilu Productions also produced from Star Trek to all the Twilight Zone stuff and then some. I mean, he's been, I mean, And then Lucy owned Desilu for a long time before she died. Yep.
Now you know how Gene Roddenberry started, don't you?
No, how did he start? Really?
He started
Creating westerns.
he started writing westerns. That's what it was.
Yeah.
He was
Really?
a western
Yeah, yeah.
writer. Yep. Him and Shatner actually freaking became friends because they were both in. I think it was Gunsmoke. He did an episode of Gunsmoke.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, he directed or produced or wrote at least one episode.
And that's how him and William Shatner freaking ended up meeting. I thought that was pretty cool. Now,
Yeah.
Gene Roddenberry, I never pictured until I heard that as being into westerns. But my dad's big on the old westerns, so he likes to watch the.
Well, the
documentaries.
entire idea of Star Trek originally was Roddenberry wanted to create a sort of western in space.
Well, that blonde chick
So-
that was the green.
Was Roddenberry's wife?
Yeah.
Yeah, Angel.
Mhm.
And later on, she played Deanna Troy's mother
Yeah.
in Deep Space Nine and also Next
Yeah.
Generation. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then she passed away. Yeah, Majel. She was like
Majel Barrett.
an associate producer for a lot of that.
Yep.
So or consultant. Okay, consultant.
And you know what's the craziest part about that? All the time that she was on The Next Generation, I did not put two and two together that was the same woman.
Do you know her voice was also the original computer voice for the Enterprise as well? Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense because now I can hear it in my head, to be
She
honest.
At one time, she was upset because Gene wouldn't give her a leading role for it when she was coming up in being a pretty good star herself. Because she had played a lot of roles, like outside of what Gene put up. So
Now, I mean, when it comes to freaking the hot women of Star Trek, though, you can't ignore the freaking the blue women, the blue, or were they green?
the green women, yeah,
Green women, dude, they were all hot.
yeah.
It was
Green
like,
women.
you don't
You know who was one of the green women?
the blonde chick that was on there all the time. I know she was.
No. The original girl who played Batgirl.
Oh yeah, okay, I know.
Craig.
Yeah,
Yvonne Craig, and man, Yvonne was really hot.
yeah.
I think she passed away too.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
what's his name? Still around, man. What's his name? Adam West. He's still around. He does voiceovers for Family Guy and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, he's there on Family Guy.
Credits, yeah.
Adam West.
Yeah, he's it's amazing whenever frickin' he went on there. I was surprised he actually took that part, but he did it. I'm surprised
not.
he did.
I'm really surprised that he hasn't been blacklisted for as many times as he's been sued for sexual harassment from the 60s on. That's one of the reasons why they had to cancel the 1960s version of Batman.
I don't even
Yeah, because
know.
Yvonne Craig and a few other the female co-hosts. What was the other Catwoman's name? It wasn't Julie. It wasn't Julie Newmar. It was the black girl.
Oh God, what was it?
The Kit. Yeah, Eartha Kitt.
Yeah.
Eartha was hot, man. Like, and she was in a lot of stuff too. like Mission Impossible and stuff like that. Yeah. In fact, Nimoy was in Mission Impossible for years.
Indeed, yeah.
You he went
Majority
from
of the
Star
episodes,
Trek
yeah.
to Mission Impossible, and then they finished up with that, and then later on he took the role for, and he didn't want it for In Search of, and he did. I think there's like 11 or 12 seasons of the original In Search of.
Yep. Now, it says on here, Julie Newman, she played it in the 60s. Then it was Lee Merriweather, and then Eartha Kitt.
Merriweather I think Merriweather sued him too. Yeah.
Well,
Merriweather was in the movie. See, I'm kind of a comics nerd, so I know a little bit about that. Like remember Spider-Man on the Electric Company?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was what's his name? He played on Shawshank Redemption and. It's not.
Also, didn't Nimoy also do
I can't.
Nimoy also do a lot
It's a
of
black guy.
corporate stuff?
The black guy.
He's done a lot of training videos and corporate advertising stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Nimoy.
Now, I know who you're talking about. Freeman.
Yeah, Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
Played. He was actually Spider-Man on the Electric Company. and believe it or not, that's probably one of his earliest roles. Public broadcasting. All right.
Now,
PBS.
Yeah.
And look where he's at today.
Yeah.
He's become extremely outspoken, hasn't he? He has been sort of anti-BLM and been sort of very non-PC recently. It's beyond good thing, but yeah.
His role, I think he's taken more of a George Burns kind of role. Because George Burns and him, like everybody thinks of him like God, because he played God in freaking, you know what I mean? And that's the same thing that happened with George Burns. But if you go back and you watch a lot of George Burns' older stuff, he was nothing like God whatsoever. You know what
George Burns, I mean...
He's a great guy, or he was a great guy, but he was by no means anything close to God,
No. Him and Gracie did a lot of cool stuff together when she was alive. Mm-hmm. They played at the Acadia Theater a lot, and the Acadia Theater is real close to where I was born and raised. Just outside of Wimber, Pennsylvania. Wimber is where the Acadia Theater is at. Mm-hmm. It's like that was a big thing that they would do big broadcasts from there.
You remember the Friars Club, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're all about. Those guys were the ones that started it, and them and who else was members of it? Jack Benny was a member of the Friars Club.
Yep.
What's his face? The dude that played the voice of the original Charlie's Angels.
Yeah.
He was in the Friars Club. They all had their freaking hands in it. I mean, it was big business when it first came out. And George Burns and what's her face? God, I keep forgetting her name. His wife. George Burns' wife. Nobody can remember.
No, that's looking one off.
I don't know.
We were just saying it. God dang.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness. Now I gotta freaking.
Well, and you have when you get into that group, you also have to get in with the Rat Pack too.
Yeah.
Frank Dino and Sammy and the rest of them, And then what was the girl's name? Was with them Rosemary Clooney. Yep.
Hmm. Now, like, I was having a talk with that Angel the other day, and like, he was mentioning freaking Lucille Ball and everything too, But like, whenever it came to like George Burns and his wife, George Burns' wife, like Gracie Allen is what her name was. Like, he was trying to compare her as not having a great freaking career because she was overshadowed by freaking Lucille Ball, and I was like, I kept quiet, but I was like, no, dude, that's not the way it was. Gracie Allen was big, you know what I mean? It was just she was a few years older than freaking Lucille Ball. Her career was pretty much seasoned by the time Lucille Ball came into being. I think the only person that was around before George Burns and Gracie Allen was Jack Benny.
Mm.
Like, these were the pioneers. There were people out before these guys, but freaking they weren't all on television. They were doing the circuit.
Mm.
You see, yeah, George Burns and Gracie Allen. That was it.
And he was the one that did the Honeymooners with Jackie.
Oh, yeah.
Those two were great.
She
and
was the neighbor.
Just from all that was the Flintstones.
Yeah. What's her name? Oh God, what is her name? She also played on frickin' the one where with the train, and she was on the Jethro or on the frickin'
Jetson?
Oh God, she was on the Beverly Hillbillies.
Yep.
Oh yeah, she was right there with George Burns and them. She was their neighbor.
Yep.
That was cool. I forgot all about her. Hell yeah. Legends.
Yeah. I'm not old, but I know things.
Well, see. That's what I like about our age group is like when we were younger, we actually had to watch reruns. You know what I mean? So like now they don't have the kids don't have to watch the older shows. I get
so sick and tired of watching Wagon Train.
Oh God, yeah.
When will Lost in Space come on?
Being a Brit, I can remember things like Little House and John Boy,
the Waltons,
and things like that. But yeah, it was mainly sort of British, more British cultural orientated stuff.
That's because
like the early episodes of Doctor Who and stuff.
They had you guys locked in though. Like the BBC was ones that were really in full control in your country. So like you
actually not too. Remember, I think I remember when Channel 4 started back in 82, 83. I was fairly young, and I
would say the best thing that the BBC and we had for crossover between the pond was anything that Jerry Anderson came up with, like UFO,
Thunderbirds, Stingray,
Space 1999, Thunderbirds. That was probably the hugest crossover.
Scarlet, yeah.
And nobody talks about UFO, but it was like one of the best. You know what I mean? It really was. I remember freaking that show back when I was freaking a kid, and I'm like, man, dude.
How about Supercar? Supercar was like one of my favorites.
No.
Supercar. It would turn into a sub. It would fly. It would do just about any old thing, you know. Get into the supercar and go, you know.
I think we had some weird, of the more
Very
weirder
interesting,
British stuff like The Prisoner, as an example.
That one is
Was-
the one I liked,
Like this,
actually. Like,
It's, I mean,
of The Prisoner.
you gotta think about stuff like that, you know, and what kind of insights that those writers in that had, you know, from the government. You know,
I wouldn't have gotten into Iron Maiden if it wasn't for The Prisoner, dude. Just put it to you that way. But, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If
Okay.
and they had a freaking, what was it? Run to the, no, it wasn't one. What was it? It started out with the beginning of freaking The Prisoner where he goes, I'm not a number, I'm a free man. And then it freaking went into the song. But that was the first song I heard from Iron Maiden. And
Okay.
then Number of the Beast. Of course, Number of the Beast. And that's what got me interested in Iron Maiden. So yeah, freaking been checking up, man. Doesn't look like anybody's moving in there in the chats. I think old John
Okay.
came in and checked it out, and
Yeah, so I saw him earlier. I was a bit surprised because very rarely see him these days.
yeah, he's been quiet a lot. He's been getting into music and everything. We've been talking about getting some music set up and going, but we've got to figure out how to do it proper on the internet because of latency. That's something that I didn't even know.
3 second to a whole minute delay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I deal with that all the time.
And like right now, what we're doing, we're having a conversation. It's not really as noticeable, you know what I mean? But when you take two people from two different parts of the country or parts of the world, and they're trying to do it,
Yeah.
it's completely impossible for them to do it.
I mean, like I have a virtual band kind of thing.
Yeah. Where they can jam
I
together.
think. Yeah. I think. What's that app?
Yeah, I'm gonna let you in on this right now. Skype doesn't really allow that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've tried to do different things over the years and that, and
Zoom.
if you're going
right?
to do that. If you're going to try to attempt something like that, Skype is not going to be the platform that you're going to want to use. You're probably going to want to use something like Discord.
We've tried it on Discord. That was where we tried it the last time, I think. No, actually, we didn't. We did it on, did we do it on Jitsi?
Zoom works really well with virtual bands.
You got paid for that shit, though.
Yeah.
Unless
30
you
minutes.
self-host. There might be some self-host hosting.
The biggest thing, the biggest problem you have with audio platforms like Skype, Uvu, and a lot of the others, is that it will not capture all of the frequency that you want to use when you're playing music. So, one person playing and possibly singing, you're going to hear it cutting in and out on any of those.
I just
Believe
realized.
me, I've used a lot of them. The only one that I haven't tried out yet is Discord or something like that. Like a gaming platform.
As far as latency is concerned, this is where technologies like stun and turn can actually help. System and stun servers. The issue that I'm having at this present moment with Nextcloud Talk.
I've been kind of having an idea, but I don't know how well it would work on OBS if you could get the people who are involved with actually trying to jam to freaking get on here with their OBSs and synchronized freaking delay times.
That's going to be really tough.
Yeah.
So with Zoom, you can get 40 minutes free.
Yeah, Zoom's got an absolutely terrible terms of service. I would not. I've used them a few times for corporate companies sort of stuff, and
You heard what happened to Robert Morningstar on there, didn't you?
No.
Well,
He got on there and started doing his show, and freaking all of a sudden he had trolls coming on, freaking posting like gay porn and shit on his freaking.
yeah, they've got very restricted TOS.
Well, that could happen with any.
Like that.
Trolls can happen
This is why I'm
anywhere.
in favour of self-hosting.
I mean, you can get trolls on channels that don't have anything on it at all.
I mean, like, how the hell do you get people just coming in and posting gay porn on your chat? You know what I mean? Like,
That's what happened with mine's chat. with Kylie. Kylie.
Why do you think I've got an entire every time I remove a comment or ban somebody from one of the official rooms, so generals or canaries, I always make a screenshot first, just in case anything comes back on me. So if a staff member asks me why I banned them, not that it's ever happened, but just in case. And I've got a directory with something like, must be 300 images.
see.
Well, yeah, you could be, what do you call it?
An entrepreneur.
No.
Start selling all
storing, explicit materials.
Most of them are just spam, buy this latest cryptocurrency. I can offer you £5 billion as an investment of 2p.
Did you take the screenshot of those stuff that Kylie Barnes posted?
I may have done because at the time, bar she was there, staff members were there, so I may have I've used screenshots of her. I'll have to have a look, but again, I lose count of what I've got and what I haven't got because.
I doubted those were. You think those were her pictures?
Probably not. Like, they never post their pictures, or usually
But
people.
but she's different. She's the real. She's not like one of those spammers. She's the real deal.
See if I have.
Who's that? Which one's that?
Kylie Barnes, General Mind Chat, a couple of years back.
We had a major problem with this one spammer that was just doxing people and some sort of broken love affair or something. It got messy.
Yeah, but we need to elaborate on what doxing is, because, like, I've learned from Mr. Robot, there ain't too many people on Minds who actually know what doxing really is. What do you consider doxing?
Anything that passes what under the GDPR would be personal identifiable information with the owner's consent.
And passing it on to a list so that you can.
Well,
like their home address, for instance.
Yeah, giving an address, their phone number.
I wanted to double check so that
their actual name if they want to hide the actual name. Yeah,
and then saying, hey, this person's on a bad list, and then give out all that information and then why you think that they should be on that bad list. That's doxing.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I had to. Well, I should have actually confronted him about it, but Mr. Robot thought I was freaking doxing him because I mentioned that he was on Twitter, dude. I was like, dude, freaking that's not doxing you.
That no, that's not dogs.
Well,
Like
it,
no,
it is doxing. It would be considered doxing if you go to his Skype profile and find on there that he has his home address on there.
No,
yeah.
Twitter, not Skype.
Technically, that would be in the public realm anyway. So
It is
that's an
public.
arguable
You don't.
point.
It is public, Mark, but where it comes is the association between Mr. Robot and that profile,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, agreed. But just check, and Kyle, what's her name, isn't in my directory of screenshots.
Okay.
No, I mean, what did she do? Like put freaking porn pics and shit up or something?
Yeah, she
No,
put
it was
like
well, yeah, it was
Yeah.
people, but it was mainly just doxing some other user. It was just
first he started first he
there was some
doxed.
sexual explicit.
He was
comments.
she was apparently a girlfriend or she considers herself a girlfriend of some other character, some other personality
Right.
on Minds.
Yeah.
And something turned sour, so she started
Something like that.
doxing him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
And then the poor guy ended up closing his Minds account.
I'm not sure.
He ended up getting off of Minds.
But yeah, the Canary Group is all about help and support. As Roger and Tom knows, it can be quite
Mr. Tron.
efficient when it comes to forcing people to stay on subject. And it's been quite a few times where I've just banned people because they've just started to, I don't know, provide crypto scams and stuff.
Well, the bad part about it is when they go on Canary support and do that shit. I couldn't believe that shit. When
Yeah.
I actually started paying
Yeah.
attention. Like, dude,
I spent I spent a long time removing.
you'd think
comments.
they would freaking like. I mean, for me personally, if I'm gonna be doing that shit, I'm not gonna go on the help and support freaking chat, freaking try to put spam up. Not unless it's a bot that I'm having freaking just go and randomly pop it up on every chat room.
I tried to
Yeah,
put myself.
you really don't get that kind of thing on mine. So you do, but it's very few and scattered
Yeah.
compared to other platforms. Compared to other
in-
platforms.
in the chat, in the mine's chat platform, it has been a major issue, and and it forced me just to create stock comments like this room is here for the purpose of blurb blurb, and I've actually got a directory just with text files with just stock comments in there. So if anybody posts anything that is questionable, I will always put up a stock comment, and if they continue, I'll ban them.
Yeah.
See, that's why we.
Well, yeah. My favorite thing about mines is if I don't want to listen to someone or anything like that, they can't force themselves onto my mines,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
I can just unfollow them and that'll be it,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Where if you were on, like Facebook, they can tag you and it posts straight to your main page.
They can
That-
follow
which
you. That's what
sucks.
gets. That's the thing that really bugs me the most about Facebook is like they don't even have to be following you and shit. They can
All they have to do is tag you.
right. Well, on your profile too, they can freaking
You
become
can
a
prevent
fan.
you can now prevent non-friends from tagging you. So they've implemented a bunch of privacy features since then. But what I don't like about Facebook is, if you start using their messenger one time the Messenger app, it automatically turns on your online status so that everybody who is your friend's uncle knows that you're online.
Yeah,
So
that's not good.
that's why I never use that Messenger app anymore.
You know why I stopped using Facebook? Because of people I know. All these strangers, you know what I mean? They can freaking get on there and they can run their mouth all they want. I don't care. But when it's people I've known all my life, and they...
Funny enough, I used Facebook for about 6 months before I joined Minds back in 2016. And I think I only published 2 posts on Facebook.
Really?
It's just political retards. And I've never used them, well, apart from 2 posts.
And then you got flagged for posting political stuff?
No, I just gave up. I don't know if I even closed my accounts down. I just left them.
Well, I knew shit was going to hit the fan.
I couldn't see any interest. I couldn't see any interest. I'm not a huge social media person anyway.
I knew
So
shit.
that's what I'm doing nowadays.
I knew shit was going to hit the fan with Facebook when the whole Alex Jones thing started. When they started banning them from Twitter and freaking Facebook and everything. Because, like, during that time, John was doing really big on paranormal stuff, and I was moderating for him on the groups. And they started getting into this conversation about that stuff. And I was like, you know, I'm going to tell you right now, you guys think that it's just Alex Jones, but eventually it's going to be you because you're...
It is every single person. In fact, when you use their messenger, they know when every keystroke that you make, even before you send it. All right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you say something and you go back, erase it, and then go back and put something else in, they already... Facebook knows that already.
They already do.
Yeah, this is the weird thing. Facebook does that. But WhatsApp, which is another meta platform, platform owned project, is end-to-end encrypted.
Yes.
Well,
That
it's
does make sense.
you know, it's encrypted that they can get all your information as you do things.
No, it's end-to-end encryption. It's client to client.
Well,
it's not.
It had end-to-end encryption before Meta bought it, right?
Yeah. Another interesting thing is the only times I've ever used the only times when I've used Twitter was back in the early days, and that was only for parsing log files. So I could have display log files online.
You freaking
That was the only use I ever found for
rebel.
Twitter, personally.
Listen to that
I
rebel.
know.
Passing freaking log files on Twitter, dude. How dare you?
What? Haven't you passed log files on Twitter way back then? You can only have 128 characters.
Yeah, but you had to split them up. It was each line per. Yeah, it wasn't complete log files per message. It was single lines per.
This is what I'm talking about, and you didn't believe me, Dan. Okay, he's fucking nuts. He is nuts.
He's very, very meticulous and has a lot of patience.
I know a few system administrators that were doing similar stuff.
I knew your level of craziness when we started talking about time zones and shit. From that time on, dude, I've known about this. Okay, like freaking everybody always. Every time I bring that up, they're like, "Oh, Mark's not crazy. He's the most sane one." I was like, "Dude, he's crazy in a different way." Okay, you belong with everybody on my. You fit perfectly.
As you know,
with us.
I cannot stand this idea, especially no offense to anybody, but especially Americans. Every single American think their time zone stretches throughout the world. So if you, for instance, if you say 5 o'clock, and you expect me to know 5 o'clock?
Well, you know,
Yeah,
let me add to this though.
that's American.
Let me
That's
add to
American.
this though.
Yeah.
This is how much I want to reverse this, because this goes back to you, Mr. England. Okay, what is universal UTC?
Universal time coordinates, yeah.
Now, is that
GMT.
not? Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. Is that GMT? Now, where is
Yeah,
GMT
yeah.
located on the world
And
map?
it's meantime.
It's,
London.
oh, okay. So we're supposed
then,
to.
Trying to see where he's going there.
the other one's over by Guam.
Okay.
The end time one is over next to
yeah.
Guam, Agana, Guam. Yep.
So you're trying to tell us that all Americans think that time has to go according to American time, but we have UTC
No,
that everybody's supposed to practice.
Yeah, precisely. Everybody should be using UTC. That would save so much complication.
For the English.
It would save complication throughout the world.
For the English, all you'd have to do is look at your clock and everything's cool.
Yeah.
I know. I'm an hour in front of UTC at the moment.
Do you know what I
It's
think?
the summertime.
Do you know what I think whenever freaking you say 1700 UTC?
What?
Go on.
I think, what the fuck, dude?
5 o'clock.
The first thing pops out of my head is, what the fuck, dude? Now I gotta remember this shit again, dude. It's like,
Well, if you live in London, you don't have to remember anything. UTC is UTC.
No, you still got to because of summertime.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, so where's Greenwich?
Greenwich isn't that where the
That's
Beatles made that one song where frickin' they were supposed to be like hippies in the park?
It's a
and shit?
borough. It's a borough in London, England.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I heard that was where all the beatniks used to hang out and smoke opium and shit.
I don't know. Could be.
Fuck a bunch.
There's also a Greenwich, Connecticut, Roger. Greenwich,
Greenwich,
Connecticut.
Yeah, that's it. That's
Greenwich,
probably
Connecticut.
the one where the hippies were at too. Fucking Greenwich, Connecticut, freaking hippies.
Actually, it was me. It was me that forced the staff. You know that they produce the Tamil agendas, the Tamil meeting agendas. It was me that forced the staff to add UTC to their thing, reminding them that not everybody lives in the US. Not all of their user bases live in the US.
I kind of see what Mark's talking about, you know, Roger, and Mark W. Because I'm in the church, in the Catholic Church, it's a universal church that is supposed to have a common rule of everybody around the world.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times, the American see something that happened in Mexico or something like that, and they say, "Well, that's so strange. That shouldn't happen, right?"
Mm-hmm.
And then they should do this and this and this. That what we do in America. But you know, every local church in there has their own local customs. And the Americans are trying to enforce
no
the American.
No offense to anybody, but there's an old joke about us Brits being imperialistic.
Yeah. I started that joke.
I
started that joke. Freaking,
I don't know that joke.
Freaking.
That's a joke.
Like Mark. Okay, Mark. Mark Mark thinks freaking Cromwell was a bad guy. You know what I mean? But in reality, what happened was is Cromwell fought a revolution, and freaking thousands of men died over freaking this revolution that they had twice, by the way, not once, but two revolutions. And
Actually, I wouldn't say he's a bad person. He was a the idea of removing power from the king was a good idea, but it was the sort of 5 year sort of dictatorship.
well, this is where this part comes into play, though. Like, nobody wants to mention the fact that freaking these people that he just freaking gave their freedoms to came back to him and offered to make him king because they wanted to go back to the former government that freaking they had before this revolution, you know. That would make me upset. That would piss me off, you know what I mean? But
but he created a sort of republic dictatorship afterwards for 5 years.
Do you realize how much architecture that man had involved in him too? Like, architecture schools here in the U.S. still make it to where frickin' you have to study frickin' architecture done by Cromwell. Did you know that?
Okay.
Like, universities still make them frickin' study frickin' Cromwell stuff. He wasn't like everybody in England makes him out to be. He was actually freaking. He did a lot, and like now everybody.
I'm not saying that he wasn't influential, but we didn't
everybody
influence
over
things.
In England makes him out to be a tyrant too, you know, and like he's so bad.
He was he was for the 5 years after the war.
He just he shut England down. He started killing off the dukes and shit. Like, what did he actually do to like the actual average English person?
He enforced the rule of presidency. It was during his era that things like Christmas was banned.
Oh, that's good. That's just really great. Isn't that why it freaking caused the Ukraine to freaking revolt against their former government just here recently? Because they, I think in protest, they put a freaking Christmas tree up in front of the Capitol. That was before all this shit. Like, whenever they had the Russian puppet for a czar or whatever the hell it was, president. It was actually when all this
the Soviet Union never even tried that.
Take away Christmas, man, and shit's gonna hit the fan. It is true. That's one big deal. Like,
well, it's a cultural thing, isn't it?
Well, in Europe especially. Like, that's what I was saying about England whenever we had that conversation. Like, if you remember when we were doing our show, I was like, freaking, you don't take freaking England, you don't take Christmas away from England, dude.
When there's this sort of move from civil servants to rename Christmas as festive season, and you see the sort of complaints that come from Brits and try to do that.
Yeah, well, I'm really amazed by England now. I've got to start checking out that conservative thing, because that's weird. Yeah, you...
Actually, to answer your question from earlier, from this morning and last night, I'm thinking a couple episodes on conservatism and then move on to the Commonwealth.
And another thing, too...
That would be more logical.
Something popped up into my head too, like talking points. Freaking, like you said, you wanted to talk more about World War II, and if you want to make that up as a talking point when it comes around to you, if we keep doing it the way we've been doing it, just talk about freaking what you wanted to talk about. We don't have, because, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that was a carry on from another subject, wasn't it? We were talking about socialism, and we were talking about the visions of visions of Pact.
Well, when it comes up to your time to do your talking points, just bring it up. Say you wanted to revisit.
It was a sort of reply to, I think, one of Otto's points.
Because I think that'd be cool. Because that's kind of what I was saying when we started doing all that stuff, is we all bring our own talking points, you know what I mean, into the conversation. So, like, for me,
as you know, I'm more of a I don't tend to bring talking points per se. I'm more
yeah, I know.
preferring to sort of response sort of thing.
Become versatile. Versatile.
Start creating PowerPoints, presentations, and stuff.
Yeah.
I guarantee he will too. He'll have
Except it won't be PowerPoint.
There'll be a billboard back behind him.
It'll be like open office equivalent of.
Have you ever seen
Actually, one idea I did have was to actually get a large monitor or a TV or one of the sort of shops, store sort of screens, stick it behind me, use it as a third sort of monitor, in my case, sixth monitor, have it playing all the time, and then when I just want to go to that, just use OBS or something just to flick to it.
You know, one thing you could do, get one of those whiteboards where you take a magic marker and you just write your topics down and set it back behind you, and that way, freaking, whenever you're talking, you can have your talking points behind you. That way, the people that are watching can see it.
They get a cheap jacket with leather pads on the on the words, and yeah, you go to open university then, yeah.
I'm not talking about all that, dude. I'm just talking about, you know what I'm talking about, like the little whiteboards. You take a magic marker.
Yeah.
You just take one. This is gonna be my talking point. Two. And we need to have you on there too, Tan. We got to talk about Canada. Like, I've heard some juicy shit about Canada. Like, your Conservative Party trips me out, dude. It just, I am so freaking tripped out about your guys' Conservative Party.
Actually, I've been a discussion about Trudeau and the current Socialist Party in Canada will be a really episode.
I'm not keen on talking about Canadian politics.
Yeah, I can imagine why. I can see why.
But you know, when I was going to high school and I was busing home every day, I passed by this rickety old office. They call it the Socialist Communist Party office. This was 1988, 1989 or something like that. And they had it already. I was so shocked. I came from a communist country, and then here I am. I'm in Canada, and I'm passing by this office. There is a Socialist Party, basically. What the hell? So that was my first shocking exposure to communism in Canada.
Well, I just recently became amazed with your guys' Conservative Party, because apparently freaking the Gay Pride Parade has decided to ban the Conservatives from showing up.
That's not very inclusive.
But I mean, it's like, dude, seriously, like, first of all, you know, and I could be wrong about this because I do understand there has to be like gay conservatives in the United States, but at a gay pride freaking parade, dude, you know what I mean? Like I don't see the Conservative Party kissing babies in the United States at a freaking gay pride.
Yeah, but
That's the Republicans,
also
isn't it?
it's also vote winner at the moment.
But so you're saying that some
Democrats.
conservative party members are attending the gay pride parade?
In Canada,
Yeah,
in Canada,
Yeah, again, you've
literally
got to
had to ban
pander to
them.
your demographics to a certain point, because if you don't get voted.
Yeah.
yeah,
That
yeah.
just blew me out of the water. Like, it's day and night, you know what I mean? Like, freaking. Because, you know, I pick on Canada, don't get me wrong. You've heard me do it, alright? I do it all the time. But honestly, when it comes down to it, I think Canada and the United States is probably the closest relationship, to be honest. I mean, it's like they don't even freaking really stop each other from coming into each other's country.
Mm.
You just show your state ID and you're in. That's it.
Mm.
You know, like you don't have to have a visa, nothing. So, whenever I hear freaking like the gay pride parade and conservatives in freaking Canada, I'm like, whoa, dude, like that just blew me out of the water. I figured they were.
Well, no, but you're saying the gay pride parade are banning the Conservative Party from showing up, right?
Right. Well, because they're too much of a
yeah. So that's a good thing for. I mean, so they're not kissing the Conservatives and are not kissing up.
Why are they showing up?
Oh,
Again,
I don't think they're showing up. They're being banned from showing up.
Are they
right?
protesting or something?
They're proactively being banned, preemptively.
Or like they causing problems for the gay pride parade or something?
Well, I think the conservatives are conservatives, right? So they would be against gay pride.
That's the way I always saw it. That's what I figured.
But I'm not up to date on the latest.
Isn't progressivism all about inclusion and inclusion?
Well, conservatives aren't progressive.
No, yeah,
no.
But
well, no, but these guys are progressive conservative. This is the progressive conservative party, you know.
Is that what they call them?
Yeah, that's what they call them. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That just it sends me down another rabbit hole. Like all of a sudden we got progressive conservatives. And another thing I want to do is like classic conservatism. A lot of people don't know there's a difference between classic conservatism and conservatism. And I'm starting to believe that the actual conservative movement was actually started in England.
And also, talking about classic conservatism, a lot of something that a lot of Americans don't get is classical liberalism.
Yeah, I do. I actually
when they talk about they think liberalism is just one huge group. There is a lot of difference between progressive liberalism and classical liberalism.
And like liberalism today would, like, here in the United States we call them libertarians, where you guys would call them freaking liberal. Just point blank, blank liberal.
But no, if the Canadian equivalent of the liberal is the American Democrats.
Oh, no, I'm talking about Mark. Like you guys are pretty close to us on that. I know that much. But like with him, like their concept of liberal is actually libertarian kind of stance.
Or the mainstream, concept. Again, classical liberalism is more about conservatism.
Yeah, that's
If
what
really
think.
want to get conservative, then you go into a constitutionalist.
yeah, an isolationist.
Mm.
See, I'm more of the isolationist. I think George Washington was the best freaking president we ever had, or the last best president, the last good president we ever had, because he was an isolationist. He didn't believe in political parties. And after he left office, that's where our country went to shit.
So if you don't believe in political parties, then you don't believe in democracy.
No, democracy has nothing to do with political parties. Political parties,
Yeah, but
each individual should have individual rights. The sovereignty doesn't consist of frickin' political parties. It consists of frickin' each individual as a whole combined.
oh, so the concept of voting for a person rather than a party, whereas in America you tend to vote for a person, whereas in the UK we
No.
tend to vote for a party.
We've fallen into the political party thing too. So I mean, it just like I'm an independent voter. Okay, so that means that I only have to vote one time. I don't have to go and vote for a party member. When it's election time, I get to go in and choose the people that I want to vote for. You know. So, whereas if you're a part of a political party, then you go to frickin' vote for your party member, and then you get to vote.
Yeah, but you hear all the time that voting for somebody like Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton or voting for an individual. It's very rare, as far as the UK is concerned, that you don't hear about the US talking about parties as much as individuals within that party.
Well, you hear about the Democrats, don't you, and the Republicans?
Yeah, but when it comes to election time, I mean, at the moment, they are. It's all about should you vote for Donald Trump or should you vote for? I've not taken very much
Joe
notice of
Biden.
US.
No.
Joe Biden or Ted Cruz or whoever. So yeah, it's a very sort of cult of personalities sort of thing.
Well, you notice nobody talks about frickin' Kennedy. He's third party.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? There's actually 4 parties, and 2 of them don't get to frickin' participate because they can't get above 5% on the frickin' amount of people that are voting. So that means that they can't be in the frickin' public debates because the Democrats frickin' run or control the frickin' the debates.
Yeah.
PBS.
Remember, we had an entire discussion about this with that New Zealand bloke a couple of weeks ago about the sort of personality cult and the 2-party systems.
Mm-hmm. And they do. That's how they keep control. But that's how political parties control frickin' who gets to vote, frickin' whose vote's important and shit like that. It's just one big. See, we have what they call electors, and what it is like Democrats go and they vote for frickin' who they want president.
Yeah, that's good you're explaining it, because most folks don't understand that we in the United States are not a democracy. Never were from the very beginning. We are a democratic republic. That means we elect officials that go up, and then they take care of it from there.
See, and like we have electors, and what it is like the Republicans vote for their representative, and they get a certain amount of people in their party that freaking get a freaking amount of votes. Well, the Democrats do that, and then the Republicans do that, and whoever has the highest one wins the freaking electoral votes for that state. So their elector, the elector for that party, gets to cast those votes. And the other ones don't. See what I mean? So it's basically which party actually ends up freaking winning the freaking primaries that gets to do the electoral votes for that state.
And in this country, we've got what's meant to be a three-party system. Conservatives, Labour and Lib Dems, but Lib Dems have been useless for many, many decades now. But hopefully we're going to see a fourth party come in to have some influence. The Reform Party, they're getting a lot of traction at the moment.
It tripped me out whenever you said that the Conservative Party is actually called the Conservative Party. Is that like freaking... So
yeah.
You have the Labour Party, the Conservative Party, and then the Democratic
and Liberal Democrats, who's only been able to get power in recent years because of the coalition between them and Conservatives during Cameron's time.
So that's weird. I find that disturbing.
Upheld by Nick Clegg, who's now Facebook Meta platforms VC of European Affairs or something.
But see, you know what that tells me? That tells me that they freaking know that their country's in trouble, that they're having to fight against the freaking socialists, which are the Labour Party. And
yeah, well,
it's bad when
we have problems with.
It's bad when freaking Democrats and conservatives are siding against freaking another party, dude. Like here, you'd never.
This was fairly. Remember when Cameron came to power? I think it could be 2012, maybe.
Yeah.
2011. So it was really at the start of the so-called modern culture war, quote unquote.
It's interesting though that just to hear that, because like here that would never happen. You'd never see the Democratic Party and the Conservative Party getting along about anything, you know, at all. Like they'll bitch about what color the sky is, you know what I mean?
If they get behind closed doors, and you know, Roger, because both parties are one party here anymore. It's just who's the bigger dick at the time, or who's getting the most money at the time, you know?
And most Democrats know that all the hot chicks are freaking conservative. Like,
hell yeah.
I mean, they do.
I think I pointed this out before, but there's an old Yes Minister being a 1980s British comedy that was all about what's happening in the Prime Minister's office during the 80s. Satire then, and there's this old joke where one of the civil servants speaking to a junior civil servant and mentions that power is not a lot of power isn't held by the MPs. They're not held by the politicians. They're controlled by civil servants.
Yeah. See, that's why. Yeah. That's what me and you were talking about before last season, was because like we were talking about there's a difference between government. When I say government, I'm not referring to freaking elected officials. I'm talking about the people who are put into place without elections. That's a government official. You know what I mean? They're not elected. They're
State
selected.
official, I prefer.
Well,
Yeah.
you guys call them like
Public official.
state officials and stuff. I get that, like, 'cause
I don't know. I keep on hearing people calling them government officials, and this goes back to one of my biggest pet hates about stating that public money, state money, is government money. This is one of my biggest sort of. Yeah.
Mark says he's got to head out, man. We'll see you later, Mark. It was great having you.
Okay, yeah.
So but yeah, I agree with you on that. It's just that stuff gets so crazy, it's ridiculous. And Tan, I apologize for not hitting record all this time. It just fell me down.
You haven't.
But we are streaming.
Don't worry, you're streaming on both YouTube and Rumble, so
Yeah, we've got them
You can
streaming.
grab that recording afterwards
Yeah.
and download them, and yeah, and there's a
forget about recording.
I got excited because I was drinking the coffee, and frickin' next thing you know, well, I went and smoked first, and then I had my coffee, and I sat down, and you guys were having a good conversation, and I just got carried away with it. I was like, damn. But
it's all retrievable, so that's good.
On YouTube, you can get I don't know if you are able to download.
yeah, you can.
You can get up to 2192 resolution.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you're not using that resolution on this
Okay.
anyway. But use one of the unofficial means like YouTube.
It
Download or
depends.
something.
Dependent on his streaming resolution as well, because
Yeah.
I can see 720. Yes.
And I got to be careful on this too, because I'm hitting Rumble, Odyssey, and YouTube, which is going to split the freaking bandwidth. So if I have a really high freaking resolution, it's going to start causing freaking drop frames.
And besides, and like I said before, you don't need that higher resolution for this sort of thing anyway.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean,
Well,
I'm
Well,
not.
we
Do
need-
you want to see everything go out of my head?
Yes.
You want to
Roger,
see my grade?
Roger's handsome beard whenever he shows his face.
yeah.
Hmm.
You
He's
know,
not showing his face today.
you know what would be really cool is if like we do like Jaffe does and like get us a cool little slideshow going, and then like just you know how he does it, and we just kind of like
Yeah. When he step out for bio break,
yeah.
you put on a slideshow or some
In
pre-recorded
that
video.
case, this is where sponsorship would come in useful, because you
Yeah.
slideshow sponsorship. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
stuff like that. I think
Yeah.
that would be cool.
Yeah, man.
But with this, I like how this is. I wouldn't do like the regular skin on Skype, but I like the dark shade that it's got on here. Just to me, it makes it look better. I don't like that bright.
Also, talking of which, I still notice that blue text on green background issue
On
Where?
mine.
on your background image. You know, the sort of contrast issue that I was talking about.
Yeah. Now I could do a blur maybe.
Like I said, just a white outline
Yeah.
around the text.
Yeah.
Did you create that background version?
Yeah.
No, that's actually from Skype.
Skype thing?
It's from Skype.
Mm.
I don't like anything when it comes to those backgrounds that Skype gives. It just they They don't.
Yeah, I've had to play with them. Yeah.
Okay, now I
Doing
guess
that, yo.
I guess you don't have to, or you don't save or nothing. Oh, be it. There we go. There we go. What do you think about that? You like that?
Blur what? There's nothing to blur. Oh, I see. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh,
Are you?
looks slightly blurry to me, actually.
See, you got one of those little billboards in the back that I was talking to
I
you
see it
about.
okay. Yeah, you put your own picture behind that desk, then
Mm-hmm.
you got,
See how that's set up right there?
yeah.
Set that up like freaking I was talking about, and like have a little board back behind you where people can read what you got that you want to talk about.
Hmm.
Yeah, but it doesn't use the wide angle. Good thing about this camera is it can actually go a lot wider, but in this room it sort of doesn't really work.
There we go. That would be.
Okay.
That's actually
I've seen that background before, yeah.
that's actually pretty
At
nice.
least there's no Apple laptop there. Like that in the episode the other day.
Actually, there is a laptop in there. I just seen that.
Yeah, but there's no Apple symbol on it.
Ah, cool. So see
Sponsored by Apple.
now we've seen a soft spot for Mark. He he gets fired up in chat whenever we start talking about Apple. Last time we did it because we got into the conversation about Linux and
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah, yeah.
I have my issues with Linux. I ain't gonna deny it. I'll be the first one to say it. But I have real life experiences with Linux. That's the reason why I don't freaking like it so much. I meant it.
Only certain distributions and only certain desktop environments.
Right.
Remember, when you say Linux, you only to remember the kernel. So that's why I always
You hate
use
having to type too much, right, Roger?
Linux kernel-based operating system. I never call it Linux because that's a misnomer.
Now, what was you saying, Tan?
I'm saying you hate having to type so much on Linux. Is that it?
It's not that. It's the programs like
Oh yeah. Well, that's that. There's lack of available programs for you to do what you need to do.
I don't know. No, you've got tons of graphic editors. You've got
few years ago,
video editors. You've got WordPress. You've got a lot of these applications are cross-platform anyway. LibreOffice is available for Firefox.
Mr. Robot uses Linux exclusively, and he's doing live streaming, music,
well,
music streaming.
he okay, well, you know how he's real big on security and shit, okay? This is the thing about Mr. Robot. Let me
Mr. Robot. Yesterday, I don't know if you noticed my little comments in generals, but yesterday he came up with this mega repository full of PDFs.
Yeah.
And the first thing I asked him is, have you confirmed that there's no malware in there?
All right.
Did he reply to you?
Yeah, he says it.
No.
He said it's not his. Is what I seen earlier this.
Yeah, but
today.
that's still
not
technically,
confirming
if I could have him banned from.
Yes.
I could argue that he's violating one of the terms, one of the clauses on mine's terms.
Right.
But I didn't. And besides, I was having keyboard issues at the time anyway. So
Instead
of banning him, the history of his own messages. You notice that, Roger?
Yeah. Well, it's like he talks about security all the time, and then he turns around and he surprises me because he wanted to transfer that freaking movie to me from Linux to my computer, and he wanted to use chocolatey. Okay, and I'm like, whoa, dude, hold on, what's going on here? I don't do that freaking for anybody. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna freaking transfer files back and forth with chocolatey.
Why?
What's
Why?
chocolate?
It's a direct
It's-
link
yeah.
between his computer and my computer where freaking he
It's a peer-to-peer.
you know,
Okay.
for data
Really? Yeah.
for RAR files and stuff like that, you know, and I'm like, dude, that's fucked up. Like, and the only reason why I did it was because freaking I've known him for a while, you know, but I would never freaking do that for anybody. Like, nobody's gonna reach into my computer. I don't give a shit,
Right.
you know.
Right.
And
Why? Because you only you can do that because you have a Windows computer and he doesn't.
well,
No,
it just surprised
security
me.
malware.
It just surprised me
I mean,
that he freaking even wanted to do that. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and
Right.
technically, I know mine's. I know. I was speaking to one of the developers on Minds just last year, and I was going to provide him with a PDF about some data, and he asked me to convert it into another format because he was that question. He was a bit unsure about mirror being the first couple of bytes, but you've got to remember that all image files, all media files, all PDFs, all nothing Microsoft Office documents, in the first couple of bytes, things like access data can be compromised and can have malware code in it.
mhm.
So even to send an image, the first couple of bytes could have some dubious code in it.
And, you know, I've tried to explain it to him earlier on. The thing about Linux, I do give it credit that it does have better security, but there's only one reason why it's got better security. It's because I get to choose what I want on my computer and what I don't want on my computer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if I'm an idiot and I'm freaking sitting there just putting whatever the hell I want on there, I could easily just freaking get just as much viruses and shit on my computer if I'm going in and getting Tor.
It's not only that, but a lot of domestic users will install a copy of Windows if they get the opportunity to install Windows, and will set themselves up with administrator accounts.
Right.
And to use administrator accounts as users. China, I presume you've seen a lot of users do this all the time. I've seen a lot of users
Well, I mean,
just install a copy of Windows and administration accounts.
you don't even freaking get the say on what you want and you don't want, though. When it comes to Windows, they just put whatever freaking they feel like. You know what I mean? Where on Linux, you get to freaking actually go through
Especially
and
in
say,
reasons,
I want this and I want that and I want this. You get to actually build your own freaking shit from.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Depends on the distribution, but yeah.
Most of them. Well, not Mint. I know Mint's gotten more Windows. They kind of make it.
Yeah, inside Ubuntu is more, that sort of out of the box experience sort of thing.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I don't know. For me, I do like Ubuntu because it's lightweight. And that's the one thing I do
yeah,
like.
GNOME Free, lightweight, actually, GNOME Free is extremely heavy. Extremely heavy.
Ubuntu.
KDE is a little lighter.
Ubuntu is
Yeah,
heavy.
Remember, Ubuntu uses GNOME Free as the default desktop environment.
Not KDE.
No,
KDE is Red Hat.
Ubuntu has always been a GNOME based operating system by default.
Yeah, I mean, I've installed a couple of Ubuntu VMs, and they're not lightweight. They're like a few gigs
Oh, yeah, there.
Well,
OS.
Yeah.
you know, Ubuntu is a separate setup. It's
Oh,
actually,
Ubuntu. So LXD,
yeah,
the LXD environment. Yeah.
that's the one that I was talking about. No, that is pretty
Okay.
lightweight,
Yeah.
but
Oh.
Yeah.
it's still
LXD.
it's still Ubuntu.
But yeah, Ubuntu still allows by default will switch on a lot of services. That is not necessary for the average user. As an example, on my VPS, I'm using Ubuntu, the server long-term support version. I did that because on one of my early installations I needed Docker, and the cleanest way of doing that was to use Ubuntu. But yeah, I've had to switch off a lot of services, and system init services, to make sure that it runs as I expected.
And you know what got me the most though when it came to freaking Ubuntu is you still had to use other services if you wanted better quality on shit. Like freaking, you still had to freaking go in and take little bits and pieces from Mint and incorporate it into your Ubuntu so that you could get better shit.
I don't know. I am not a big fan of the Flatpak and Snap deployment methods. I prefer to use just in Ubuntu's Debian case deb files, and my internal infrastructure is all based on open source, so RPMs. In my internal infrastructure, but
what about your audio? Have you
again, Flatpaks and Snaps. There is a lot of choice there. Even though I don't like Flatpaks or Snaps.
See, I finally just settled back in with Elsa. I mean, freaking, it's like fuck all that shit. Just that's what I ended up doing because it was too much of a hassle. Just use Elsa and say fuck it. You know.
Elsa?
ALSA.
I think what?
ALSA.
Oh, okay.
Audio.
Yeah, the audio. That's data though.
It's seriously all that other shit you got on Linux, dude. Freaking, it's.
Pipewire, post. I know the audio frameworks are so complex.
Isn't that what Dave
That's
uses?
Because
the last time I used Linux was like three years ago.
Yeah. The audio frameworks are so complicated because you've got one that's reliant on another thing, and then another thing that's reliant on another thing, and it is a bit of a mess. But
especially when it comes to your
with
volume
these,
mixers.
that could be related to the device as well. But generally speaking, Pipewire in recent versions been fairly smooth.
Pipewire, I don't know.
Speaking.
I tried it for a little while, but then, like I said, freaking it got to the point.
Yeah, I'm talking about recent versions. I'm talking about.
Well, you seen that video I posted for you to look at, where you could see what my arguments were with Linux. It was 7 years ago, so, and I mean,
that was some time ago.
I had it all outlined too, dude. I was pissed. I was like, fucking. I even did a freaking. During that time, I even did a review on Minds.com. Them bastards and how dirty they were.
The biggest issue at the moment is where a lot of distributions will use software that is not really production ready. frameworks such as the Wayland window and framework. Ubuntu's just moved over to using Wayland instead of X11. Things like screen capturing is really not functionable.
Well, you gotta remember. You gotta remember too, though. Freaking like that was 7 years ago. Whenever I first did that, and then this last time was maybe about 3 years ago, and I could be wrong on that.
But
You
but
know,
up to very late on my old workstation, I was using ext4 as my root file system, and then I swapped over to BTRS. And because the way that I was creating snapshots, I found many times where the root processing was just getting full and wouldn't actually give me any space to actually work on. Thankfully, that's been sort of fixed. But yeah, it's all of these operating systems, or all these distributions, incorporating fairly early development software frameworks and treating them as production-ready frameworks, such as Wayland.
I don't know. I maybe one day, when I do hate typing. Tan was right about that. I hate typing. You know, in the code.
Are you up on the collect?
Like, I'm actually having to go back through now and learn freaking Java again. So that kind of opened my eyes up to how lazy I've gotten with Windows. Like, freaking all of a sudden, like, I don't remember freaking JavaScript no more. At least I was catching back on, but it's like that one dude on chat said, you use it or you lose it. And my mistake first is I should have went right back to freaking Java and started learning Java instead of trying to learn freaking A-frame first and then going to, because that confused me. You know what I mean? Now that A-frame is like some freaking, it's the language. It's how they say things. Like, you know, when you're using Visual Studios, they always have on the top using so and so. You know, like I use freaking Unity, it would say using Unity engine. Well, they don't do their language the same way with A-frame.
Yeah.
So
on a slight tangent, I, as you know, do a lot of system administration, and I'm always in things like terminals and SSH sessions, so always typing. But then again, I come from a business sort of background where I was taught from a fairly age to do things like touch type.
yeah.
I can, so.
And see, that's the thing that I don't buy into either. These people are always saying, like, copy and paste shit, you know what I mean? If you're gonna learn the shit, you need to learn how to type it out. It's called a language for a reason, you know what I mean? Like, whenever you look at that frickin' shit, you should know what it's saying by looking at it. Just like if you're reading a piece of paper. And that's the one thing you'll hear.
You
just because it's
you learn more by
the old sort of thing about just because it's convenient, is it really a good thing?
Right.
Because I think I've had this argument with both of you plenty of times in the past. Plenty of times. Just because something's convenient is a good thing. Does it not make you lazy?
Right.
I still like Windows. I don't care what you say, dude. See,
Even though Microsoft could be tracking every single move that you do.
you know what, dude? They're gonna be targeting you before they target me because they got me in their fucking pocket. You know what? You're the guy that's trying to hide something. So guess who? Guess who these fuckers are searching out first? They're searching for you, dude. You're the one with the secrets, not me.
Yeah, they already own him.
What
They can come back to me anytime
the
they
old
want,
saying
dude.
about if you've got nothing to hide, you've got nothing to fear.
No, I don't believe that.
Yeah, that works quite well.
I don't believe in all that. But all I'm trying to say is like you guys you got your reality skewed, okay? You're the first ones they go after. They don't come after me because they can get me anytime they want. You're the guys that are hiding off into the freaking corners and hiding away from shit with encryptions and stuff. You're the one they want. They're pulling your information. They're pulling your data before they pull mine.
I've got. I'm thinking about creating a post for mine. Lewis Rossman in the last day or two published something about Adobe and how they've changed their terms of services in relation to having so-called artificial intelligence, machine learning to collect data on all of their documents that they're stored in in Adobe's Creative Cloud or Creative, whatever it is, servers. And if you do not agree with this data collection, your account will be terminated.
Oh wow!
It's like me putting something in this drawer and expecting expecting myself to be the only person that knows what's inside that drawer. I don't want the entire world to know what's inside that drawer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we did that on Tech Talk the other day. Remember with the phones, where Tan showed the video with the phones. If you notice, that one phone was freaking talking to the other one, and then they turn around and they freaking covered the view from the phone that was talking to the guy, and because that other phone was sitting there, and even though it didn't have freaking any focus on him whatsoever, that phone that was covered up was able to pull the data from it and tell freaking him what was actually going on when he wasn't supposed to see it. He just.
I was describing on Jim 2 days ago about my use of Nextcloud when it came to using like groupware usage, things like calendar and the Book storage. And a lot of end users will use, if they're using Android, they will use Google services to store their phone numbers on, or if they're using an iPhone, they will use Apple services to store their phone numbers on. Mm-hmm. That's just data for a third party to have, and that's why I prefer using something like Nextcloud or something on my own private infrastructure to be able to store this data on.
Well, you know what's the weird part is I don't understand why people are starting to fall into this. Mozilla is so much better. Like, no, I mean, where do they come up with this shit? Mozilla is not any better than freaking Google. That's straight up IBM right there, or not IBM, but Microsoft.
Depends on nuance really, but Mozilla has been known to be a bit more security conscious when it comes to collection of fingerprints, collection of now Mozilla is its own company. It's a company and a charitable foundation, isn't it? You've got Mozilla the company and you've got Mozilla the charitable foundation, the 501 foundation.
Yeah.
Mozilla Corporation is its own
Yeah, but it also gives, it's also got a there's also a Mozilla Foundation, which a lot of the actual development is done.
They're not owned by
Mozilla
IBM.
corporations really.
Not IBM. I meant to say Microsoft. I meant to say Microsoft.
No, they're not.
No, Microsoft has got shares in Mozilla Corporation, like a lot of companies, Samsung.
Before they had this Microsoft Edge, that was their big freaking push. They were telling everybody, man, you need to freaking have Mozilla. Give up Google Chrome.
No. Before the Chromium, then they were using their own. Was it Trident?
No, it
was
yes.
IE. They were using their own rendering engine.
I know that they were pushing.
I've got an entire blog article on this actually.
They were pushing Mozilla.
Funny enough, I wrote my web rendering blog article only a couple months before Microsoft announced that they would be moving over to the Chromium, the Blink engine. So most of the information in that blog article is correct, but it's just that one. There's only a couple of lines that could be incorrect because of the Blink engine in IE now, or Edge now.
I forgot all about Blink. Now they've got on there that they're just a smart home security.
But
like they actually have it in the search engine, but when you go to the actual search engine, it's just it's Blink Home. But
sorry,
it's a different Blink, different company.
No, I'm talking about the rendering engine that is using Chrome and Chromium and Brave and all Chromium derivatives.
When you type it in, they even have. Remember the old arrow that's supposed to look like a smiley face?
Okay.
It's in there. People also search for, and it shows it. But when you go to click on it, it takes you to frickin' their SE or search engine, and it says Blink Smart Security.
No, we're talking about something altogether different. I'm talking about web rendering engines.
Yeah. No, he's searching for Blink, and then some advert came up.
Some search, yeah. Totally different thing.
What is the monthly fee for Blink?
Get out of it, man, before they hijack your browser.
Yeah.
And it's sponsored by Amazon. I forgot all about Blink, though. You are right. But Mozilla was a part of
Blink was the rendering engine used by Chromium.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
All Chromium derivatives. So Opera, Brave, Chrome, Edge. I think I've got an entire list somewhere. Just the majority of web browsers are using Blink. There's in reality only 3 rendering engines out there at the present moment. There's Blink, Gecko, Quantum, Quantum being a sort of extension to Gecko, and WebKit. WebKit is mainly used by
Apple.
Yeah,
Safari.
That's pretty cool.
Safari, actually, that's one I haven't heard in a while.
I use it, definitely. I use Blink. I use WebKit on a browser called Medora. So if I've got to test something that is I've had issues in, users have had issues in minds where something will display correctly on let's say Firefox and won't display correctly on Chrome. And in those sort of situations, I will test with Chromium, Mozilla Firefox, and Medora because they all use 3 different rendering engines.
Mm-hmm. Now Medora, what was it? They were that's big on coding too, isn't it?
No, Medora is Medora as a browser is quite old now. It hasn't had any development for a long time. But the web rendering engine itself has is continuously being developed.
Yeah.
Again, it is just the same web rendering engine as Safari uses. Just remember, just because a browser may not be up to date, doesn't mean that the rendering engine that it uses is out of date.
Are you talking about Opera, Mark, or Midori?
Medora in this case.
Midori.
My memory isn't always great on this one, but what was the name of the first company that came out? I'm not sure which one it was. It could have been all the way back when Yahoo was popular, but do you remember?
You talking about something like Netscape?
Do you remember when you could take your mouse and run it over a freaking Word and it would have that option where it drops down? Something like Blue Shark or some shit like that. Blue something.
Don't remember you.
You know what I'm talking about? Like they have it in a lot of.
That's the Netscape Navigator, wasn't it? Even before Netscape, what you were talking about, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Netscape
Blue
Navigator
something.
is technically
It
browser.
It was in the browsers, and you run your mouse over it, and it dropped
Mosaic. Mosaic, right?
Yeah, it was right.
Yeah, which is technically Netscape. I don't know what came first. But
Mosaic browser.
I think it was just another name.
And it's made by NCSA.
Yeah. That's the one thing that's been bugging me whenever I was sitting there trying to remember that. I remember back when that came out, and it was like all of a sudden it just vanished.
Why? Because they got overrun by. It got overtaken by Netscape Navigator.
That's some crazy.
Netscape is the form precursor to Firefox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Technically, I guess the developers that work on Netscape then from the Mozilla Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
But they have no relation other than the developer or worked on both browsers. Yeah. It was very different.
Technically, Netscape is the basis, is the new early basis of Firefox. If you look at it from a wide historical point of view.
You know, shit's getting bad when people are talking about Firefox.
I have Firefox on my box. I don't use it very often.
I use Firefox as my main sort of daily browser, both on my phone and on my. Actually, I use Mo Firefox on my phone, not Mozilla Firefox. It's a derivative of Mozilla Firefox, but it's a bit more security conscious.
I have a feeling you still know your AOL freaking email address, dude.
Funnily enough, actually, just to remind you, I've decided that blog article in chat. But funnily enough, Even though I've distributed a lot of AOL CDs in my time, when I was doing retail repairs, tech support, I used to have boxes and boxes and boxes of AOL CDs, and I've probably still got a few floating around even now somewhere. But yeah, I've had I provided clients and consumers of AOL CDs, but I've never actually used them myself. Never actually had an AOL account myself.
That's cool, actually, because, like, I remember when everybody thought AOL was the way of the future. Like, that was going to be the one and only, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, back in the early 90s or early to mid 90s. But then again, I remember the early days when AOL was still its own independent company and still competing against companies like CompuServe.
well, it's like whenever
Yeah.
you say the web, you know what I mean?
CompuServe came out first.
You
I
remember-
had a CompuServe account.
Actually, didn't CompuServe start as both companies started as BBS
BBS,
providers,
yeah,
didn't they?
Yeah. System, yeah.
And, like, you know how you like to
But
say...
then again, I can even go further back and talk about telex systems, Prestel.
Do you remember
Oracle
when
and
people
that
used
system.
to make a separation between frickin' the net and the frickin' web?
Yeah, I still do. I actually went through a long explanation, I think last year or year before, in the Canaries room, where somebody conflated the internet with the web. And I pointed out that the internet has been around since the mid-60s, whereas the web has only been around since 94.
You remember the first
And,
frickin' setup where they had it where you could frickin' sit at your coffee table, pull out a frickin' computer monitor, and the TV frickin' that was in the TV entertainment center was your monitor?
You do that, you can do that now. A lot of people use
It was like you could... You
or
had...
to think of all those Android-based TVs now.
Yeah. I
Back
had
in-
one of them.
Back in the 90s, man, they had it set up, though, where your frickin' keyboard was underneath your coffee table, and you just slide it out like frickin' you do on your computer desk, and you're sitting there at your
Actually,
couch.
funny enough, Microsoft did produce a actual physical coffee table that acted as a keyboard. So glass surface with a key.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen it. It's like
a keyboard. No, actually, keyboard. Like those dreaded laser keyboard. Laser keyboard things that you get these days.
That's a cool thing. Yeah.
That is kind of cool. Yeah. Got you some of
yeah, but it may be cool, but try typing on it after and that you've got
typing on air.
Sore fingers. Yeah.
Freaking like the old Hackers movie, you know what I mean, where they had freaking that huge computer system supposed. It was supposed to be like the freaking supercomputer. It could never be hacked. And it was like
no such thing. There's no such thing. That can never be hacked.
Freaking, it had like those glass freaking those glass.
Actually, the best way of protecting your machine is to make sure that it's away from the internet, locked in a cupboard in your basement, guarded by searchlights and guard dogs.
Oh, don't get me started on the basement thing again. I finally got over freaking the whole thing about who was it, Bill or his brother? I was accusing of being forced down into his basement to freaking do work. Oh, that was Bill.
Okay. Yeah. think.
Because he showed that freaking short video, and Dan shared it with us, and I was like, "See, I told you, freaking they don't even let him do anything no more. He just has to stay in the basement." Did you find that?
No, Jack does all the.
I don't know if it comes.
Actually, yeah, he always opens up the town hall meetings, and he always a big speaking that.
A glass computer coffee table.
Yeah. Oh, glass keyboard. Coffee table glass. Coffee table keyboard or something.
I don't know. The did Microsoft come out with that laser keyboard?
No, those modern laser keyboards come from some crappy Chinese.
Yeah.
Sort of, yeah. In fact, wasn't it earlier this year that
I thought I saw it from Microsoft as well.
Yeah, I think Barty held a sort of competition in generals. We were talking about using the biggest and widest keyboards, and I came up with a couple of examples of old industrial large super keyboards. Battery check keyboards, and on the opposite end, I showed provided a link to a video where somebody was reviewing one of these laser projection keyboards, and he was putting the laser projection keyboard on silly things like he was typing on peanut butter, and he was typing on squid.
Now I found just a regular coffee table. It's they call them lift table coffee tables with charging stations. And then there's another one. It's a coffee table, computer table, black solid wood legs, and stuff like that. But I'd love to be able to find out about the glass ones. The liquid cooled coffee table. The liquid cooled coffee table.
It is a
touchscreen coffee table. This is why I'm broke.
I've just found a interesting article on illustrated 2016 article about a $5,500 Windows 10 based coffee table.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
That's cool stuff,
just a sec. I just added to this.
See, why would nobody want to get into this? You know what I mean? This is where the good shit is. When you go and you look at this stuff all over again. Like, people come up with some of the most imaginary or imaginative shit, you know? Like, nobody in today's world would have a freaking coffee table that's a touch screen and that big, you know? They're all into the small telephones and shit.
Where's the keyboard? Table is the keyboard?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the full table is a touchscreen monitor.
Yeah.
It's just a monitor. Yeah, it's just a
touch
monitor.
Screen.
Touch monitor.
Yeah. So it'd be a virtualized keyboard on top, wouldn't it? It would be just a virtual keyboard.
I I'll get the actual picture right. Got the redirect address on that one. This one's just kind of like that one, but not really. You know what I mean? It's a touchscreen coffee table, kind of like that one, but it's a lot bigger. I'd like to have that one before I did this one though, because that one's really nice.
I mean, I've been a fan of the UMPC market for a long time. You know, mini PCs, so 7-8 inch machines they could stick in a suit jacket or something.
I could imagine you. I could imagine you with that.
Yeah,
You'd go hog wild.
Well, it's a perfect sort of portable solution, isn't it? Being able to carry around an x86 thing in a coffee table, in a suit jacket or something.
You know you'd love that, dude. Don't even. You know you would. I'm sitting here looking at it right now, and I can see you freaking sitting there. You'd be freaking drinking your coffee.
No. I prefer the smaller, better. That's not portable. You couldn't pick up and stuff underneath your arm and walk out with it.
You wouldn't move, dude. If you had that, you'd be sitting right there in front of that damn thing.
And yeah, I would be suffering from serious neck cramp all day.
Oh yeah, that would be an issue.
Huh.
You'd have to be constantly looking down and shit. Well, at least you'd be on the couch.
True.
You wouldn't.
I can see its use. But for daily. Yeah, I can. Yeah. For daily use, it is not practical.
No, you wouldn't want to even use that for gaming, to be honest. That would be even worse, because with the gaming, you'd have to actually use a mouse, and you'd have to freaking be looking at the screen. So that means you'd be looking down, like you were talking about, even longer. You know what I mean? Because like
I could see something like that in the racing room, corporate racing room, where you have adverts streaming on it, or company literature streaming on it all the time.
Yeah, or maybe having different people sitting at the table around it or some shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, and a meeting or something, semi-formal meeting sort of thing. Cool. Well, we've come to 9 o'clock, guys. You wanna freaking?
Yeah, guys. I gotta get off to dinner.
I'm up to 3 a.m. Yeah.
Looks like
3 a.m. Cool. Saturday morning. You party animal, you.
we got to talk about some cool shit though. We actually went through and freaking started talking about computers, and we really shouldn't have talked about Linux though. That was a bad decision. There ain't nothing
Remember,
good.
Linux kernel-based operating systems,
Okay.
not Linux.
Okay.
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 His eyes are glazed over when you say that.
Well, one thing I'll agree with.
You see my Sorry, I was going to say you see my blog article about the components, the individual components of a Linux operating-based operating system. So yeah.
I will concede to one thing though, which I will say. I would rather have a Linux over a frickin' Mac any day of the week.
What? I thought you would.
It's based on BSD, and BSD is a.
No.
I thought you being a Windows guy, you'd be more.
No. Not the Mac. No. I mean, now I wanted to have a Hackintosh. I thought that would be cool, but then I realized how freaking much of a bunch of dicks freaking they are at Mac. You know, Macintosh.
I think wasn't it up to version 10 of macOS that they were still producing x86 versions?
The only problem though is with the
There
CPUs
is
now.
x86 versions of
It's the CPUs now. Now they're cracking down on it. Like you can't do a Hackintosh with anything above a freaking quad core, and now they're trying to get rid of quad cores.
I know, but you've still got PPC versions of Mac, and you've still got up to I think version 9 as far as PPC architecture is concerned, and I think version 10 something on offer for x86.
You know what I'm saying when I'm saying Hackintosh, right?
No, I mean, now I think now you should be able to run Mac OS on a Windows PC. Can you not?
Well,
You don't need a Hackintosh.
Not the latest versions because they all use ARM processors. It's the ARM processors that they
They use ARM.
But then again,
I'm trying to phase it out.
Windows 10. Windows 10. There's versions of Windows 10 and Windows 11 for ARM processors.
Okay. But see, this goes back to what I was telling you about with me and wanting to build a processor. Nobody needs a frickin' processor. I want to build it, and you know why I wanted to build it? Was because frickin' it would be cool to frickin' be able to build a frickin' processor. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Not because I need it or not because I don't need it. And I want it to be loud. I want it to be so loud that I have to put it in the backyard so I can piss the neighbors off. You know, that's.
Processor is quiet.
Not the old ones.
All processors are just logic gates. The processor itself is not mechanical, therefore no noise. What are you thinking about is things like mechanical hard drives and
they're
fans
still loud, dude.
Stuff.
That shit's loud.
Yeah, hard drives.
Yeah.
Funny enough, just to pat myself on the back but I released a post on the history of hard drives today. Even though it's a third-party YouTube video, it took me 3 hours to track down all the necessary references, all the necessary links for it.
No, you if you want to, while we're on stream, man, you might as well share the links or stuff where people can find it.
I know. That's a good point. Just go back to my channel.
That's pretty current.
It's actually a very good video, an extremely informative video, and like I say, I took a lot of time coming up with references for it.
Behold the $5,500 Windows 10 coffee table.
Windows 10?
Yeah.
It's Windows 10.
That's awesome as hell, dude.
There's a spelling mistake in there. Can I edit that?
History of hard disk drives. It's mechanical magnetic hard disk drive dual storage, and you have it on minds.com. Let me see if I. Yeah, there we go. It's
It's a 20-minute video, but yeah, because I had to watch it 3 times just to refer back to what sort of references I needed. And there's dozen different links to it.
I also liked it,
Two, three,
or I
four.
did a thumbs up on mine and reminded it on my channel. So if
Thank
anybody's
you. I just saw that. 10,
if
11.
anybody freaking is on here watching, they can come to your channel, Medworthy, Mark Edworthy.
I just counted 19 links on that, not including the actual video itself. And yeah, it took me 3.5 hours to come up with this post.
And see, I'd like to actually get into that too, because that was back during my teenage years. I was right around 16, 17 years old when that shit started popping up. Like, people don't realize the evolution.
What year? Sorry, what year are you talking about?
About, it was, well, let me see, 73. About 84, 85.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that was right when I was in my late teens.
Yeah.
I remember when frickin' my friend Chris Ross, his brother Brad, came home with a big old box and his frickin' CD player, dude, and he was like, this is the way of the future, man. And like, now they don't even use
And he uses optical drive media now. Yeah. Compared to things like cassette tape and VHS and all the other optical or all the other medias, optical media in the commercial space doesn't really last that long.
No.
10, 15 years.
Yeah. It's pretty sad, isn't it?
20 years at the most. Yeah.
I kept telling everybody that it was going to hard drive, and nobody believed me. They're like, "Oh no, it's not."
I've got an entire drawer here just full of old IDE and SATA hard drives. In fact, a few SCSI ones as well. Hard drives and optical drives, so CD drives, DVD drives. I've got an entire drawer just filled to the brim with old 30, 40, 50, 60 gig hard drives.
You had any VCR tapes laying around?
1 or 2 10s as well. No.
We still got ours.
Still
got ours. We still got ours.
Have you got anything to play it on?
We might. I don't know. I have to go check, actually. But
Okay.
we've got it back in the storage. It might still be there. I know that we might have a disk drive that works still, but I don't know about the VCR. It'd be cool if it still worked.
Didn't I mention it to you on Tuesday that it was only a couple of years ago that within the last 5-6 years that the last manufacturer of produced the last VCR. You cannot buy a new VCR. You can buy new old stock, but you cannot buy a new VCR anymore.
Oh, that's crazy. Must be an English regulation.
No, it's just how the market's gone. People don't buy it, therefore manufacturers don't produce it.
You know that England actually rules the world back in the background with nobody knowing. It's a general knowledge, man. Ask any good conspiracy theorist. They'll tell you.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I thought that was lizard people.
no, that's
lizard people.
That's
But
the
Mr.
Queen
Robot.
of England. Remember? No, that Queen Elizabeth was supposed to be a lizard woman, according to David Icke. But I've got my theories about David Icke. Austin even tries to amp me up about him. Like, everybody makes him out like he's all this and he's all that. And the truth is you can't get David Icke to come on anybody's show if freaking you ain't paying him good money. You know what I mean? He's just
Yeah,
he's just
used to do through the media circuit all the time, and he's gone quiet in the last couple of years.
now you got to pay him. You got to pay him to come on their show.
Okay,
You know,
nobody wants to.
it's like freaking. He's showing up for freaking political parties and shit over there during the freaking protests because.
Actually, no, I've not seen any sort of like anything, interviews or anything, in must be 5, 6, 7 years.
Wow. See, that's pretty strange.
Oh no, there was a thing. There was a thing a couple of years ago with the 5G,
Yeah.
giving everybody COVID or 5G, sucking brains out or whatever.
Yeah, I
There's,
forgot about that.
yeah, with the post. But apart from that, he's been, no,
Pretty silent.
wondering if he's still alive.
We better get off here before Tan starts falling asleep. I know he's
I'm
like,
falling asleep. I'm dying of allergy. You notice how I've been
Yeah.
scratching my eyes all this time?
Yeah,
So
Poor dude.
itchy.
poor dude.
Yeah.
I've been noticing you're having a hard time with it, so I figured
Yeah.
we probably better get off here.
Okay.
I'll talk to you guys later. I'll have this freaking hooked up, and I'm sorry that all the other videos have been running late before we get off here, but I've been like
Uh,
overdone on a whole bunch of crazy shit, like catching up on videos.
Yeah. I don't know if you need to do so much
still,
the roundtable stuff.
Yeah.
No,
Just let it-
this one's
Oh.
not that bad. It's not that bad. I've been finishing up on Elder Scrolls Arena for my gaming, and then after that in July it's all live stream and that's nothing.
I only mentioned all that ordering issue, and I'm not being able to find videos earlier because, like I said, I was trying to find Tuesday's TikTok due to what Mine's Gaming published on, just as a sort of reply to one of Mine's Gaming's comments.
On YouTube, if you're going to look for any videos, go into the playlist. Don't try to find them in the video section. Like that channel has like insane amount of videos. You will never find what
this
you're
is
looking
why I was concerned about the sort of organizational structure and things like that, and also
it's organized, but it's in the playlist thing. Like there's
again descriptions as well. I noticed that on one of the videos, I think it was in the live thing for Tuesday's video, you actually stuck in the description from 2-3 weeks ago.
Oh, default. I've got default description on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was totally relevant to the actual content.
Yeah, no, I gotta go in there and check that.
And also the Minds group, Minds TikTok group, that needs a bit of sorting out as well.
Well, with that Tech Talk, we're gonna have to freaking go through it and make it more descriptive because, like, we actually had good topics.
What I was thinking with the TikTok group is to remove all the content and then, for the moment, just publish, schedule publish the existing posts for twice a week, and then until we caught up with everything. I know, that's why I say twice a week, until we've caught up with everything. Maybe 3 times a week.
I mean, it's if you want to do it, there's a lot there, though. I mean, you realize. Yeah,
that's again, and again, we only talk about the TikTok episode, so we are only talking about what this is the 6th episode, 7th episode.
And then
we in season 2, so 13 beforehand.
Mm-hmm. Well,
so we were talking about 20.
Right, it would be somewhere around there. So it would be somewhere around there. That's still a lot. It might. I mean, the number might sound small, but like,
Yeah, this is why I'm saying schedule them for either 2 figures a week or 3 figures a week until we've caught up
yeah,
with ourselves.
yeah.
All right, guys, I gotta get off.
I
I'm
do.
dying. I need to go.
Okay,
back up.
yeah.
I will
You
talk
guys
to
have a good weekend.
you too, bud. I will
Thank
see
you.
you guys later.